it's Joanne and I'm back with another video. So I know I've had a lot of videos out about the series that I have in my book collection, about the ones that I've completed and the ones that I haven't completed. So I just thought I'd do one more video about series, and that would be the series that I am not going to finish. So these are series that I've either read the first book or read, the first two books, and I just don't want to continue on with the series. I also have 3 series where I'm not sure if I want to continue it or not, so I'll put those in there also. The main reason that I don't want to finish all these series is just because I didn't like the first book, and I just don't feel the need to continue on with the series when there are other ones that I'm more interested in. So that's mainly the reasons why these books are on my list of book series I'm not going to finish. So the first one is the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, and I think that there are 4 books in this series that are out. I know this series is not completed yet. There's still other books that are going to be published, but I'm not sure. I read the first book, which is Fallen Kingdoms, and it was okay. It wasn't like the hype that this book gets on Goodreads and on YouTube. I was expecting like some epic fantasy that's like Game of Thrones or something like that, because that's just the way that it made it sound, but I was kind of disappointed with it. It was really slow and not a lot really happened, aside from the beginning where the thing that caused the whole revolt to happen happened, and the ending, but it was just, to me, it wasn't as good as everybody says it was. And for a book that I rated 3 stars, I don't feel that I want to continue on with the series, because there are other series that I'm excited to read that I like a lot more, so that's basically the reason for this one. The second one is called Spirit Warriors by D.E.L. Connor, and the book that I read is the first one, called The Concealing. I think this book is a indie author, and I just really didn't like the book. Just the story was really weird, and a lot of stuff happened that didn't really make sense, and I just didn't like it, so I'm not going to continue with that one. The next one, which may be kind of like controversial and people may not agree with me on it, but I am not going to continue on with the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. I read the first one, which was Clockwork Angel, I think. And this is a trilogy. I did like some things about it, like I liked the steampunk elements of it, but I didn't find it as compelling as people make it out to be, and I didn't really find it as epic and really good as people claim it to be, so I just am not going to finish it, and I have no interest in reading the Mortal Instruments either, so. The next one is the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick, and that is a Angel series, and it has 4 books in it. I read the first one, I didn't like it, and I didn't like the main character, Patch, the main angel person. I just really didn't like him. Like, he was like such an ass, and I just really didn't like him, so that's why I'm not reading this series anymore. Next is Soul Screamers by Rachel Vincent, and this series has a lot of books in it. I'm not sure how many, but the one I read was My Soul to Take, and this is a series about a girl who finds out that she's a banshee, and I honestly don't even really remember the book, what happens. I just remember that I didn't really like it. Next was Soul Seekers, the Soul Seeker series by Alison Noel. I really don't know how many books are in the series, but the book that I read was called Fated, and God, that book was so boring. Nothing happened in that book, and it was just like really, really boring, so I was like, nope, not gonna do it. So I read that, I forced myself through that book, and then after that I was like, I'm not reading it, so. The next one is the Empty Coffins series by Greg Olson, and the book that I read was Envy, and basically this is like a mystery kind of series, and the detectives of finding out the mystery is twin girls. So, I don't know, the mystery was really dumb, and the ending was just like, really? So, I'm not doing that one either. And I think there's only 2 books in that series, so I don't know. Next was the Wolf Springs Chronicles by Nancy Holder, and I read the first book, Unleashed. It was just really boring. So I was just like, no. And it was a really long book too, and there was like not a lot of stuff that happened. And I really didn't like the main character. She was so whiny. So whiny. I really didn't like her. Next is The Wolves of Mercy Falls by Maggie Stiefvater, and I read Shiver, and that book was just really boring also. Nothing really happened in it. I found it weird that a girl was in love with a wolf before she even knew he was a werewolf. So, yeah, that book was just really boring, and I'm not going to continue with the series. However, I do love her Raven Boy series. So, I am reading that one. Next is The Sweet Trilogy by Wendy Higgins, and I read Sweet Evil, and I just thought it was really dumb. So, yeah, that's it. I just really didn't like it, and I thought it was kind of dumb. Next is the Vampire Diaries, Stephen Diaries by somebody. It's not by L.J. Smith. I think it's by Ghostwriters. And the book I read was... I forgot the name of the book, but I'll show the picture here. The book was alright. It's basically the history of the TV show, so it has nothing really to do with the books, the actual book series. It's a series written about the TV show. So I read the first book, it was okay, and then I was just, over time, I was really excited to read it at the time when the show just started, but now I'm like, I don't really want to read it, so I put it in so I gave it away, and it was one of the series in the unhaul video I did. And I think it's also because I don't watch the show anymore because they've just gotten silly with like the new series, and after Elena left, I just really didn't want to watch it anymore either. The next one is the Morganville Vampires by Rachel Kane, and I read the first one, which is Glass House, and I just didn't like it. Next series is Tales of the Kingdom by Cynthia Voigt, and I read Jackaroo. I only read that because one of my friends recommended it to me, and I didn't want her to feel bad that it was okay. It wasn't like anything special, and I don't really talk to them anymore, so I don't really want to finish the series. And the last one that I'm not going to finish is The Immortals by Alison Noel, and that was Evermore. I read the first one, it was okay, didn't really feel like finishing. Now, I'm just going to mention the 3 that I may continue on with. I'm not really sure yet. The first one is Sarafina by Rachel Hartman. I don't really remember a lot about the book, but I remember that it was boring. I remember that not a lot of stuff happened in it. So I have the second book on Kindle. I'm just not sure if I want to continue on with it. So that one is kind of up in the air. I guess you guys could let me know down below if it's worth it to read this book. I don't know. The next one is The Dark Gifts by Willow Cross, and the one I read was Birthright, and I didn't really like it. I had high hopes for it, and it just went from one thing that was talked about in the synopsis to something completely different, and it didn't go in any direction that I thought it was going to. It turned into something completely different, and I just didn't like it. I have the second one, which sounds interesting, so I may still read it. I'm still holding it onto it. I haven't given it away yet, so I might still read this book. The last series is The Blessed by Tanya Hurley, and the book is The Blessed that I read. I really didn't like this book. I thought it was really stupid, and I really didn't like it. However, I've heard lots of good reviews for the rest of the books in this series, and I'm kind of interested to still see if this series is a train wreck, like the first one was, but I'm not sure if I want to invest my time in it. So I'm still on the fence about this one. I'm definitely not buying these books. These books I would get from the library. But I'm still on the fence about whether I want to continue this train wreck and see if it actually gets better, or to just like get off the train right now and not read it. So yes, I'm not sure about that one yet. So those are all of the series that I'm not going to finish, and some I'm not sure about. Thank you guys for watching my video. You can let me know down below if there are any series that you do not want to read anymore, that you started, that you're not sure about. So you can let me know down below, because I love to hear it. And I will see you next time with a new video.